Yeah, my question is this. I've been reading a book called the Urantia book, which has been described as the fifth epical revelation. And the reason I ask this question is because you've mentioned previously that heaven doesn't exist. And so I don't know whether you're familiar with the book or the teachings of it.
We can feel the vibration of it as you talk about it.
Yeah, and I guess I just wanted to ask what your perception of that is, because it's really resonated with me, but yet it also, your teachings obviously also resonate, so I'm left a little bit confused about, the existence of heaven, I guess I'm asking about.
Well, the nice thing is, our opinion of your opinion is irrelevant. In other words, if you're reading something that feels uncomfortable, that discomfort that you feel is your indicator that the source within you is not in agreement, not necessarily of what's written, but of your perception of what's written. There are a lot of realities that are being lived in this physical time-space reality, and there are not two of you who are perceiving identically. So what humans are commonly doing with each other is that you yearn so much, you do. You yearn for someone to understand your perspective. And we want you to cut that out. Because in your trying to explain yourself to each other in a way to get agreement from others, very often you are training yourself away from your own guidance system. You're training yourself away from your own expansion. And the more life causes you to expand, and the more you train yourself away from that expansion, the more uncomfortable you feel. And so, let us say this to you. We have never seen any of you pick up anything that has been written, created, produced by any other human that was in every case a perfect vibrational match to you and what's in your vortex. That isn't the premise that you came forth into this physical body. You didn't say, I'll go forth and I'll find the right path and I'll get with the right pack and we'll travel in the right circles and we'll say and do the right things. That isn't what you said. You said, I'll go forth and I'll mix it up and I will come to my individual awarenesses, because you have become who you've become before you came into this physical body. There was already plenty in your vortex that lets you know who you are. You are a lover. You were when you got here. And the first day that you found a reason to hate someone, you felt the discord of that hate. Because the source within you, no matter how justified you think you are in the pushing against of that injustice or that thing that you did not want to see, the source within you will not join you in that hatred, you see. And so this is a conversation that could go on for hours and hours and hours, because there are so many facets to the environment in which you live and so many premises that people are presenting from. And there's a whole lot that people are saying about non-physical that is so far from what it really is. The basic premise of most religions could not be more off from the way that it is. Most religion has you here being tested. None of that's true. Most religion has you here as inferior to that which is supreme. None of that is true. Most religion has you isolated and separated from that which is source, and condemned and punished for actions and behaviors. Source isn't doing any of that. That's why, in fact, guilt even exists at all. You couldn't feel so bad if source didn't love you so much. What about that? If source wasn't constantly loving you, you wouldn't feel so awful when you find a reason not to feel love. And if source wasn't constantly loving everyone else, you wouldn't feel so awful when you're blaming them either, you see. So once you show yourself actively your own guidance, once you stand in any moment in time and you say, here I am, and source, I know you have an opinion about this child that I'm looking at, and you feel yourself welled up with appreciation, you can feel that your opinion, your approach, your perception right here, right now is so in sync with the source within you that you are full of the completion of that which is source. That's what positive emotion is. The better you feel, the more you are completing or allowing the extension of source right here and now in this moment in time. And the worse you feel, the more your desire to be that is, but the more you are disallowing it, you see. So we would graze our way across the libraries of your world and across the data fields of your world. We would look for resonance. We would be constantly looking for resonance. But we would not be doing what most humans do, which is exploring the manifestations. Most humans are running around not even aware that they are vibrational creators, looking at the results of the vibrations that people have been offering, and then letting their whole life be based upon those manifestations. So then they sort the manifestations in piles. These are good ones, these are not so good, these are terrible. And our religion judges those manifestations as completely inappropriate and those manifestations as better. And then we conjure some fictitious heaven that is someplace else, when your heaven or your hell that you are living is your resonance or your lack of it. It's your alignment or your not. It's your allowing of the source within you now or not, you see. Source is never departing from you. You didn't lose your connection with Source when you came into this physical experience. Source came right here with you. But you can choose thoughts that pinch you off pretty good from it, and you can choose thoughts that align you with it right away, you see. You can live a life of alignment, and you will discover heaven on earth. And from our perspective, what heaven on earth really is sifting through some contrast and recognizing some negative emotion. That's delicious. Guidance. I have guidance within me. I know that I'm off the track of something, but I also know I gave birth to something more, and that source within me resonated with the more and became it immediately, and that the only reason that I can feel negative emotion right now is because I expanded and didn't go. That's heaven on earth. And now I'm consciously aware of my guidance system. Now I can find thoughts that feel a little better. I can give myself some ease and relief. You call that forgiveness. We call it coming back into alignment. It's the releasing of the resistance and the resonance with the source within me. And now I'm back in resonance, and now my grid's filling in, and now wonderful things are happening everywhere I turn. Sweet people talking to me, intellectual conversations going on, physical stamina and vitality and flexibility is mine. A feeling of well-being everywhere I look, it is beautiful. I'm zigging and zagging with the best of life. I'm on that vortex, and all good things are mine. And there are people maybe clamoring around saying, hey, life isn't good, life isn't good, life isn't good, life isn't good. But I don't hear them. I'm not in the vibrational vicinity of them. I'm living pure positive energy. I'm living life in the way that I came forth to live, and standing as example of well-being to others. And when others come into my experience, maybe they were born into my family, maybe I was born to them, maybe I married one of them, maybe I go to school with one of them, somebody is clamoring in a vibration that doesn't feel so good. They're saying, hey, you, what have you got your head in the clouds? What are you so happy about? You should be down here with us, living life in the reality that we all live. You should be sifting and sorting through the stuff of life, and you should be perceiving life more as we perceive it. And we say, you can't perceive other than you perceive. And when you tune yourself to the frequencies of well-being, well-being is what will be revealed to you everywhere you go. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would no longer sift and sort the piles of manifestation. We would spend all of our conscious awareness in looking for the best feeling thought that we could find. We would tune ourselves constantly to the frequency that allows well-being. And we would stand as an example of that, so that when those who see us, they would understand that we are living the well-being that we have been talking about, teaching through the clarity of example as best you can. And you never get it done. You never get it done, and you cannot get it wrong. And the reason that you cannot get it wrong is because it is never done. So let's say you're standing in a place and you don't feel so good. And with good reason. Something happened. You looked at it. It hurt your feelings. You're out of whack. The very fact that you can feel negative emotion means there is a love right now that you are denying. You couldn't feel pain if love were not there. Don't you like knowing that? If there were not love that is more right for you and more available to you, you would never feel loneliness. Loneliness only exists because you're denying yourself the alignment with what you want. Are you getting this? You're getting this. Helpful? We liked it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Standing on your chair does not help. Pointing at your friend doesn't either.